Welcome to Navigating Your 20s. I'm your host, Jess Hugo, and I am so excited to have you here. I'm an online personal trainer and nutritionist, but honestly, underneath it all, I am just a girl who is struggling, thriving, and surviving somehow all at once. So if this is you, you are not alone. If you want all the juicy tea on what it's like to be a girl navigating her 20s, I'm talking relationships, health, fitness, social life, work, and everything in between, then you're in the right place.
Hello queens, welcome back to the podcast. I am so excited that you're here, and today is the first recorded episode. Hopefully, touch wood, everything goes well. I'm a DIY queen, so we know I'm doing this myself, but if you're listening to this and there's no video attached, something's gone wrong. Anyway, today's episode, I'm going to be answering all of your juicy questions. So I have them written down here. If you see me looking off, it's because I wrote them word for word. I don't want to fuck up your questions. Just for some context, and we'll go straight in after this, I put up a little anonymous link on my Instagram and I said, ask me juicy questions. It could be about anything, health, fitness, business, life, relationships, friendships, socializing, anything and everything in between. You guys went a little bit crazy. I actually put it specifically in my free broadcast, which I'll link below if you want to go jump into her. It's just my free Instagram broadcast, and I then extended the offer to my Instagram story. The broadcast did the damn thing. I just wanted to give the girls on my Instagram the chance in case they weren't in it. But majority of these questions are from the broadcast because the girls brought the energy. It's called Girls in Their 20s if you're struggling to find it, because we're girls in our 20s just navigating through life. So no life updates from me, to be honest. I'm just going to go straight in with the first juicy question. So the first question is, how much money should we be aiming to make in our early 20s? Now, there's so many ways I wanted to answer this when I first kind of saw it. So I'm going to give a few different answers, and it is kind of like that for a few of the questions. I almost want to go about it in a few different ways. So it's my podcast, and that's what I'm gonna do. So first things first, it actually is really dependent on your expenses. I know when I was in my very early 20s, you guys know I was working a few casual jobs. I've never worked like a full-time 9 to 5 or anything like that, but I've had a few casual jobs at once. I was earning about, let's just say, roughly $1,000 a week. I can't exactly remember. And this was a few years ago. So keep in mind, obviously minimum wages go up and things like that, by the bare minimum, but they do. And I was part-time at one of my roles getting paid fuck all. I think I've already told you girls that. I literally was getting $23 an hour, but I was working 2 jobs. So I was getting about $1,000-ish a week. I want to say $800 to $1,000-ish. And I honestly think at the time that served me really well. I feel like that was great at that time, but in saying that, it depends on your expenses. I'm not someone that gets my hair done. I'm not someone that gets my nails done. I do like nice things, but I don't really go buy designer things and stuff like that. I love a cheeky sale. I hate paying full price for clothes. When you go to Cotton On and you know they're going to have 30% off next week, yeah, I will just wait unless I need it urgently, of course. So for me, $1,000 a week at that time served its purpose. Obviously now I'm in a phase where sorry if you can hear my dog, she is fighting her ball. Obviously now I'm in a phase where I have much more expenses. I already told you guys that I pay $1,000+ a week, a month, for one of my mentors. So yes, obviously the income's at a different level and things like that. But in saying that, I don't think we should be aiming to earn that much if it causes burnout. So I think live within your means, live within your expenses. And if you want to level up, obviously we'll need to get another job, or we need to be doing some type of extra side hustle or something like that. But I definitely can't give advice on it at this point in time because I run my own business. But I definitely think $1,000-ish a week served me really, really well. And this is if you live at home and things like that. If you live out of home, it is a whole different ball game. I know that rent is a massive thing, but I think if you live in a share house and stuff like that, it still serves. So I think about $1,000 a week honestly is great. And if you're earning more than that, you're killing the game, because I did do some research as well, and I think that a lot of people aren't really earning more than that. That's kind of the minimum wage, and if you're earning that in your early 20s, perfect. That's great. Especially if you're entry level, you don't have any qualifications, things like that. That's what I'm speaking on. If you're, in a uni degree and you're working full time in a degree and stuff like that, we want to be trying to climb the ranks. Of course we do, because we like nice things. But I think honestly, most early 20s, mid-20s are earning about $1,000 a week. So that served me at the time because I didn't get all of that stuff done. But there is no right and wrong about it. If you're listening to this and you're like, well, fuck, I only earn like $600 a week, that's fine. How much of that do you put away to savings? How much is your expenses? How high are your expenses? Like, I, at the time, had the cheapest mobile plan you could get. I didn't get anything done, as I said. I had a free gym membership because I worked at the gyms and stuff. So it's like, where can we work smarter and save a little money? Do we have subscriptions that we never actually watch? Like, do we have a Disney Plus subscription and never watch it? Do we have something that we can like cancel that we never use? Because I bet so much of your money goes into those silly little 1%ers that just come out of your account, like an Apple subscription, and you don't even realize that all this money is just going nowhere. So I think it's not actually how much money should we be aiming to make, it's how much money can we actually save right now, because we're paying for ridiculous stuff. Because to be honest, if you have like Uber One and things like that, do we need it? No, we don't. Okay, next question is also on money. This person must have been wanting to know all the money, little secrets and tea. So what is a good salary in Sydney to live in the hills? Oh, wait, what is a good salary to live in Sydney / the hills? My family never talks about money, so I have such a skewed perception. To be honest, I also have a bit of a skewed perception, I would say. I don't actually live in the hills, but I think I also do have a skewed perception about money. So I did do a little research on this question, but I will, of course, give my candid advice. First things first, the research. 2 people to live in the Hills district need to earn about 5-ish K per month. So that kind of goes in line with the $1,000-ish a week, which like that kind of makes sense. And I actually answered the first question first. Like I did this in order, and I was like, okay, so to live in the hills, you need to be getting $1,000-ish a week. This was updated research 2025. The median rent is $500 to $850 per week. So if you have a partner and you can split it and stuff like that, that would be ideal. Paying $850 on your own, not ideal. So I don't really know what a good salary would be. Personally, I don't desire to live in the hills. Or to live in Sydney, really. Like, I do not want to live here, and that's not my desire. But also, that is such a future thing for me. So for me, I actually do live at home. I don't know if this person or you guys get a bit of a perception that I don't live at home. I do live at home. I run my business from home, my family home, and I don't really have that much perception on money. I definitely do not contribute as much as I could or should to the bills of this house, fucking hell. But I think that if you care so much about these things, it's so draining. So I actually try to be as, what's the word? I kind of try to be as like delusional about it. Not delusional, but just like, I just don't want to know until it affects me. So if you're someone right now that's like your family's keeping it from you and you don't need to stress too much about bills, like take that privilege is the word I was looking for. Take the privilege of not having to stress and worry about those things right now, because soon you'll have to, and it's not even worth it. But a good salary, again, I want to stick on like the $1,000-ish a week, but the hills or just Sydney in general, or the rental market in general, is really going up and up and up. So I don't really think there's any proper number to go after and stuff like that. But think, where do you want to live? I don't fucking want to live here. I'll tell you that. And I can be privileged enough to say I don't want to live here and I want to like live elsewhere, but I'm also in a phase where I'm not stressing about buying a house. That's like not my next step. And I actually, obviously you guys know I work with so many different women in their 20s, and they always come to me, they're wanting to work on the health and fitness, but they want to get married, but they want to move out, but they want to do this, but they want to go out with their friends, but they want to have nails, and they want it all. And I get it. We do want it all. Take a breath. Do you need to focus on buying a house right now? No. Are you needing the little luxuries in the moment? Probably. So I think like relax a little bit on all of those things. And if you want, like, go do what I did. I literally looked it up to see what the median rents and stuff were, because it is really going up and it's getting crazy around here. Do a little bit of research on it, see kind of where you need to be at. But I think honestly the best bet is to have a share house, like with friends, or a relationship like a partner or something like that, and live at home as long as you can. Honestly, the new stats are saying that people are living at home until they're like well into their 30s. So we've got a long way to go. We can stay at home. Take advantage of it if you can, if you have a healthy environment and, your home is a safe space for you. So that is all on that question. We move on. Okay. So also some of these questions, like as I said, I gave so many different topics. So some of them are like on fitness and things like that. And it does jump around a little bit, but you get the gist, you get the vibes. You know, I'm just navigating my 20s, which means all the topics are on the table. Okay. Why is it that I do so much exercise, yet my body stays exactly the same? I eat pretty good and do at least 5 to 10 Ks a day. I'm going to assume it's 5 to 10 Ks of, walking, which is like about 10 to 14,000 steps. So how much exercise they do, unsure, but if it's just eating pretty good and walking, that's what I'm going to go off. Okay. First things first, you may be overtraining because you have said, I do so much exercise, but my body stays the same. There's so many different factors, and I've written some different points. Are we overtraining? Are we overtraining and under eating? If we're not eating enough, because they said they eat good. Are we eating enough? And when you say good, do you have enough protein? Do you have structure with your training? Or are you not training at all? If you're training and you have no structure, is there any intensity there? So those are the questions I asked straight away. So I'm going to elaborate, of course. So if we're training so much and we're not eating enough, our body's going to stay the same because it's like in a stress mode. We are putting so much stress on our body, overtraining. We're not feeling it and giving it space to recover and re-energize. And then so it doesn't want to change. It's holding on to everything because it's feeling so heightened and in a stressful state. That goes into, are we lacking protein and food as a whole? So if we're eating enough food and we're getting enough protein in, then it gives our body that chance to recover, but we still can be overtraining. So how many days a week are you currently training, and are you following a structured training program? For me, I train 4 days a week. I do 2 upper body, 2 lower body, and it's structured. I know that on Monday, I'm doing kickbacks, I'm doing hip thrusts. I know that on Wednesday, I'm doing RDLs, I'm doing something else. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here. And I know on upper body day, one of the days is back and shoulders. I know I'm doing pull-ups on one of those days. I know on the other upper body day, it's more chest focused and I'm doing bench press and things like that. So I know I'm sticking to those kind of same familiar exercises and following that structure every single week. And I also know when I need to call myself out in these situations. For example, last week I was doing some bicep curls and I did all 3 sets at 6 kilos. And I was like, that was so easy, Jess. Like, come on, you could have done more. The next week, I walked into the gym and I did 7 kilos on them. Was it hard? Yes, it was a bit of a grind, but I knew I was coming in with that intensity. Whereas when I was just doing the 6s, I wasn't giving any intensity. I wasn't pushing myself any harder. And there is no point going in and doing the same weights and just moving through the motions, doing no tempo, no progressive overload, nothing. Like, that is probably why you look the same, because you're not going in and pushing yourself that little bit further, getting a little bit further out of your comfort zone. And I know we get comfortable. As I said, I was just like, oh yeah, this is the weight I do and I'm just going to be comfortable, but we don't actually grow and change in our comfort zone. So where are you lacking structure in your training, intensity in your training, and how can we clean up your food? Because in terms of eating pretty good, I think a lot of us can interpret pretty good so differently. Some people eat so many fruits and veg, but they overeat them. They're still eating pretty good, but they're gaining weight because they're overeating those good foods. Some people eat complete whole foods, they have great foods, and they're still unhappy in their body. Why? Because they're nothing is changing and they're not eating enough of those whole foods. I think a lot of people get caught in the, I want to eat a whole foods diet, so I'm going to eat very minimal. But then on the flip side, I have some clients saying, I just had a handful of like M&Ms. What's a handful? Because my hand and your hand are probably 2 different sizes and we can interpret a handful differently. A handful to me is maybe like 8. A handful to you could be like 12 plus. So really getting clear on, okay, what is eating good? Am I training well? Things like that. And doing the steps, that's great. Your steps sound great, but you just want to make sure that you're not exerting so much energy that you're putting your body into a stressful response. That's all from me on that one, I think. I think that's a lot to take away from it, a lot of things to think about. If you need more clarity, of course, you can send me a DM on Instagram, but I think that gave a lot. Okay, next question. Do you find that people treat you differently after losing weight? For me, I know it's definitely a thing But I can't really determine if people treat me differently after losing weight or not. So I've lost 20 kilos if you're new here, and I have completely changed my body, and I've changed so much. I feel like every single year of my 20s so far, I've been evolving and changing so much. I've been maturing. I've been changing things I like. I've been, leveling up in so many things. Like, did I think my business was going to be at this point when I didn't even know if I was going to start a business or not, like 2 or 3 years ago? Absolutely not. And I feel like I'm just changing and discovering things every single year, and I don't have all the answers. But I think when I change, if people don't change with me, I just happily leave them behind. If they want to treat me differently and I feel some type of way, my intuition has been so strong this year. If I'm feeling a type of way about something, I need to cut the cord. I need to say no. I need to set my boundaries firmly in place. And if you need more help with that, I've done episodes on that. So go back and listen, because I've gone through a lot of doing emotional work and really working on my emotional maturity this year. And I just think it's like, if you're going to treat me some type of way based on my body, that's fucking weird. And I still do struggle a little bit. Like, I literally walked into an appointment yesterday, and the first thing she said to me was, "Oh my God, have you lost weight?" And I just felt like, fuck, why is the first thing people see have to be related to my weight and my body and things like that? Like, even with my clients, I will say, like, tell me what's been happening. Like, you look really energized. You look really great. Even when we're purposely losing weight, because I just don't think it's right to comment on people's bodies straight away. And that is something I have been navigating, because it's happened a fair few times. I told you guys a few weeks ago as well, I walked into an event and someone said to me, "Oh my God, I've been keeping up with your Instagram and you've been losing so much weight and you look so good." And I know it came from like a nice place, but it felt like it was a bit full on. And I didn't really like that the first thing they said to me was like, about my body. You couldn't just be like, "Hey, how are you?" Like, I just didn't really like that every single thing was tied to my body, especially if you're in a phase where every single thing in your life is tied to your body, and then external people are commenting on it. You actually never know what phase people are in and how people are, if they're losing the weight like properly, if they're actually, feeling their body and doing it and not starving themselves and going down terrible toxic routes to actually lose the weight. So that's why I hate commenting on it. And if people kind of treat me differently, I do cut the cord. So with me directly, I haven't noticed too many people treating me differently, because I haven't allowed it to be a thing, but I do know what happens. As I said, people are always commenting on my body. I don't really like that. But at this point, I lost 20 kilos, 3 years ago now? And people are still commenting on my body, even with small changes. And I'm in a smaller body now. And yeah, I've been in a bit of a deficit phase lately, but it's such 1%ers when you're in a deficit at a low body weight. And you actually, I said to my partner, "Are you seeing any changes in my body?" Because I feel like I'm struggling to see them right now, because you're so tiny already. And when I say tiny, yes, you have fat to lose. Yes, you have, like, it's not a toxic way of tiny, but like the 1% changes, you're not going to notice them. And if you ask for it, yes. If other people comment on it, no. So when she commented on it, I'm like, how do you even know? Because my body has only fluctuated and changed within a couple of kilos. So I didn't even know. That was really, really odd to me. But in terms of relationships, I've been with the same person. And even when I was overweight, he claims that I wasn't. So he doesn't treat me any differently on that at all. And I think, yeah, if people are treating you differently about things, cut the fucking cord. They don't deserve to even be your fucking friend, because it's so weird. It's so weird. And I don't know why. Maybe I'm just in my head about it. But when the first thing you comment on is my body, it just makes me feel weird. I am more than my fucking body. How about, "Hey, how are you? Oh my God, hey, I've been seeing that your business is literally at full capacity. That is fucking insane. How are you going? How are you managing all of that?" Not, "Hey, I saw that you're just looking so skinny. Oh my God, you look so skinny." I just don't know how I feel about it. And that is something that I've been navigating, because it's never really happened until more recently, which is crazy, because I lost the 20 kilos not more recently. Like, when that happened, I don't know. Maybe it's because I worked behind the scenes. It was COVID, all of the things. I don't really fucking know. But yes, people do treat people differently, but I think it's how you reciprocate, how you set your boundaries, how you cut the cord, and who you kind of surround yourself with. I know that a lot of you listening have friends that don't make you feel good about yourself. You have friends that kind of make you feel like you don't want to be their fucking friend anymore, because they've treated you some type of way, whether that's been because of your other friendship choices, your partner choices, your weight loss choices. Cut the fucking cord. They're only going to drag you down anyway. And at the end of the day, I would rather have no fucking friends than hang around with those people that are dragging me down, making me feel shit about myself and my choices, and doing the most to drag me down. Because if you want to grow and they don't want to grow with you, that's on fucking them, because you want to change and you want to level up. And that's literally the reason you're listening to this, is because you want to level up. So who cares? Cut the fucking cord, and then the right people will flow in. And if no one flows in, so what? You're going to improve yourself and work on yourself. As I said in one of my recent episodes, you don't even know who you are outside of your friendships and your relationships and like with partners and things like that. So how the fuck are you supposed to make aligned friends when you're questioning who you are at the end of the day? So I know I segued, I know I ranted, but that's some food for thought and a lot to think on. Okay. How do you stay motivated? And that's literally all it says. So I'm going to answer it in a few different ways in terms of fitness and in terms of work, because I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to assume it's fitness related, but I'm not exactly sure what this person was wanting. So let's go fitness. First things first, I remember how I used to feel 20 kilos ago, 24/7. I remember how shit I felt in my body, how uncomfortable I felt in my body, how I hated looking in the change rooms in the mirror. I hated even going to the change rooms. I would not go clothes shopping. I think back to that time and how I felt in that time period because it was a struggle. I just hated everything. I didn't want to leave the house. I felt like I couldn't wear any clothes and I felt uncomfortable all the time. And I'm not going to pretend it wasn't a struggle. It was a fucking struggle. And I don't want to feel that way ever again, literally ever again. And I see other people kind of neglect their habits and neglect their health and stop working on things. And I can see their mental health declining with that. And I hate that for them. And it makes me feel sad for them. And I know I don't want to go backwards. I just talked about how much I've been elevating and growing. I cannot imagine myself back in that phase. So first things first, what motivates me is remembering how I used to feel and knowing I don't want to be back there. But I'm also really competitive and I want to be better than yesterday. Every morning I kind of wake up and think like, what can I do more? And this is a toxic trait as well, though, because you don't always need to be doing more. And this flows into my business as well and things like that. But what can I be doing to be a better version of me? Can I extend a compliment to someone? Can I help someone out and, answer some of my DMs about questions that girls are asking? Can I have a conversation with someone and make them feel a little bit better about whatever they're navigating? Can I, just what can I do to be 1% better? And that kind of motivates me. Can I lift heavier this week and today or whatever? Can I push myself and do some extra sets and reps? Can I push myself to walk that little bit further? Like, how can I be better? And that actually flows into I never give up. I never give up. I can get knocked down so many times and I won't give up. I said to one of my clients the other day, you cannot get rid of me. I am everywhere. You're fucking done with my shit. I'm popping up on your Instagram. I'm popping up on your Facebook. I'm on your TikTok. I'm in your podcast. Like, I don't give up. I keep going all the time. And that flows into every single aspect of my life. Even on the weekend, I made some hot cross buns. I did the whole fucking kit and caboodle. I waited for them to rest and rise and all of the things. And then they were so sticky. And then we had to put so much flour in them to get them to actually mold together, and then they turned into almost like bread rolls because they were so full of flour. And I literally was like, okay, next week I'm going to do that all over again because I don't give up. And failure is just not an answer to me. I get knocked down and I get back up, and that's just who I am, and that's how it keeps me motivated. A couple of other things I wrote, which I actually want to say, is I love radiating confidence. I feel like how you show up and how you're perceived by others is like how they're going to remember you. And I think I come across now with so much confidence, happiness, and I radiate it. And I get excited about every single day because I feel so good in my body and I feel so energized because I eat so well. And it just makes me feel so good, and it ebbs and flows into relationships and friendships. Like, I literally jumped on a call this morning at about 7 a.m. It was actually her birthday, and I was playing Happy Birthday by Stevie Wonder and like freaking dancing. I actually scared her. I scared her because I had so much energy, and I came in being so crazy and all of the things, but I love that level of confidence and that radiation, and it feels so good. Like, I literally was like giggling because first of all, it was making her feel good. I remembered her birthday, all of the things, but also I just love coming across with that passion and confidence, and that motivates me as well. Another couple of things I wrote down, I already kind of said this. I love how my body feels when it's looked after, nourished, and filled. As I said, I wake up every day and I feel really great. I don't wake up feeling sluggish. I don't want to snooze my alarm. I literally like jump out of bed. And I know this sounds like a lie. It sounds like whatever. What are you on? No, I'm actually serious. I am so excited to get up and start my day. Some mornings I have slow mornings. Some morning I have to roll straight out of bed at 5 a.m. for clients. But I get up and I'm excited. I don't snooze my alarm. I don't roll over. I don't groan about the day. I'm just so excited to get in and start my day because my body feels so good. And I really prioritize my sleep and getting restorative sleep and looking after myself and all of the things. So that is how. And the last thing I want to leave you on the fitness side of things is visualizing my future self. I know I kind of went on a tangent about it in my broadcast recently, but how do you want to look in the future? How do you want to be in the future? Who do you want to be? Visualize her. If you're not even thinking about her and putting in the effort and the energy with her, how are you ever going to be her and become her? So I want you to visualize future you and watch it flow in and keep you really, really motivated. And I know you're probably going to be surprised that I didn't go down the route of discipline here, because we can all say, oh, you don't want to be motivated, you want to be disciplined. But I want to give you reminders and motivational pieces that actually keep me really, really motivated and keep me going. In terms of work and motivation, I don't really know if you wanted to know about this, but I think some of you guys do like knowing about business and things like that. So I'm just going to answer really quickly. I guess at the end of the day, I want to create impact. I want to help every single woman that comes my way. I literally am so sick of hearing about every single girl neglecting themselves, feeling like they're not good enough, starving themselves because they ate over and off track and all of the things like that. That makes me so sad. I'm sick of hearing about it, because I'm like, I'm not doing enough. I need to create more impact. I need to do more. I need to do more. And this is, again, my toxic trait, because I'm always trying to do more. But I am motivated to keep going, even if I get knocked down, even if things don't go to plan, even if things haven't been smooth sailing, because I want to help more people. And, you know, overall, I could get sick tomorrow. I'm never, ever, ever going to be this fit, this healthy, this happy, and be able and capable to do all of the things. And I want to take advantage of the fact that I can do that right now, instead of bed rotting, feeling like shit about myself and feeling like, oh, I'm unmotivated. No, I'm so motivated, because, like, touch wood, but what if you get sick tomorrow? What if you get injured tomorrow? What if something happens that fully changes your life tomorrow? I would turn around. I didn't even travel. I didn't even push my body in the way I could have. I didn't even get to see sights, make memories, do amazing things, because I was held back by how my body looked. And I do not want that. I do not want that for me. So that keeps me well and truly motivated. Okay, I know I'm going on a lot. This is getting really deep, honestly. Why is this so deep? I actually wanted to say as well that I had a conversation yesterday. Sorry, I am segueing, but it does kind of answer this question. And she said to me, what do you do when you kind of like eat your like favorite little like naughty foods? Guys, I am a sweet treat enthusiast. Oh my gosh, my camera just stopped recording. Sorry about the drama. My camera just stopped recording, but I remember exactly what I was going to say. Welcome to the joys of trying new things. This is actually proof that it's not going to ever be smooth sailing, and you're going to try new things and things aren't going to go to plan, but we adapt and overcome, and shit's not perfect. Again, we get knocked down 1,000 times and we just get the fuck back up. Anyway, what I was saying, I'm a sweet treat enthusiast. You guys know, if you follow me on Instagram, almost like every single weekend, this is what I do. This is my self-care. I go to a bakery, I get a sweet treat, I get a coffee, and I go for a walk with my partner with my coffee. Sometimes I don't get a sweet treat. Sometimes I just get a coffee. Sometimes it is not that fancy and I just go for a walk like literally in my street and don't even go. But I love and almost include it as like a bit of self-care, going and getting a coffee and a sweet treat. And the other day I posted a Nutella-filled hot cross bun. Oh my fucking God. I cannot. I'm a chocolate girly through and through. A bit more chocolate-based than Nutella. But anyway, so I do post on my stories. We all know I'm very straightforward about I will always fit a sweet treat in. I will always include chocolate. Even if I'm in a weight loss phase, I include it. Everything in moderation. Otherwise, how the hell are you going to stick in a weight loss phase? Like, that sounds miserable to me. So we already know I'm like that and that I do the damn thing. Anyway, I was speaking to someone and she was like, you know, what's your go-to naughty food? And that's what I explained to her. And then she was like, I feel so shit about myself. Like, as soon as I eat bad, I will starve myself the next day. And I was like, what? I was like, first of all, define bad. And she was like, oh, if I just like go out for like dinner. What? I was like, first of all, you need to eat. We need to eat. And that's first and foremost. Second of all, going out to dinner isn't bad. Going out to dinner isn't going to make you gain weight, especially if you're just starving yourself all day and you don't even need to. I was like to her, I eat all my regular meals and have that hot cross bun. I don't change anything. I just include it in my day and go about the day. If I'm in a deficit, do I be a bit more strategic? Yes, I change around the calories in my meals and stuff like that, but I don't starve myself around those dates and wait until the scale comes back down. And this is a really serious topic and I might have to talk on it more deeply, because I know I'm supposed to be answering your juicy questions and I'm taking so long to answer them, but this killed me. This conversation killed me, and I'm literally getting upset because I was like, okay, first of all, I need to do more and create more impact and help more people and get my point across and get seen more and stuff like that. So, you know, if you're listening to this and you're like, this is so powerful, and you know someone that needs to be hearing this, send it to your friends, leave a review, help me grow, because my impact is not big enough. My space is not big enough. More girls need to hear what I have to say, because I think that too many of us are starving ourselves, telling ourselves we're not worthy of food, all of the things, and I need to do more to change that. There's so much more I could say, but obviously I want to protect identities and not give too much context and details and things like that. But just, I'm here to remind you that you don't need to starve yourself in order to lose weight. You can go out for dinner and still lose weight. I have so many resources, whether it's my free tracking diary or it's on my website, I have some little cheaper alternative bundles where you can actually learn how to track and things like that. And it teaches you how to eat out for dinner in a deficit and how to make good choices, but still enjoy the night and not feel like you have to track. Some of my clients have one untracked meal a week. Like, there's so many different ways to go about it, and starving yourself is not the way. I want to answer one more question before we wrap up, because I am conscious of your time and I appreciate you for being here. Okay, last question is, how do I set boundaries with friends and family and prioritize my well-being? Also, there are some other questions. I might answer them on my Instagram or something like that, because I have written notes for all of them. I just cannot get to them all without this being an hour episode, or I could potentially do a part 2. We will see. So how do I set boundaries with my friends and family and prioritize my well-being and kind of just like put myself first? So saying no. I have a whole episode on this, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but saying no and actually sticking up for what you believe in. If you don't want to do something with someone, literally say no. You owe no one anything. How are you supposed to pour from an empty cup? You can't. And you're not filling up your cup hanging out with people that are making you feel shit. And I know if it's your family, it can be like a sticky point, and it's a bit like, it's a tough conversation to have because like they're your family, but you're also an adult. You're a girl in your 20s, you're your own person, and it doesn't need to be disrespectful. It can just be like, no, I actually don't want to do that, or no, I don't feel like doing that, or whatever it is. Next, flipping the narrative and actually making sure that the things align with you. You're in a deficit, you want to look after your health and fitness, your friends don't align with you, they want you to go out and go on a fucking bender and go on a freaking club crawl or whatever the fuck it's called. Can you tell I don't drink alcohol? What's it called? Bar crawl? Club crawl? I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. And that doesn't actually align with you. Say no. Find a more common group activity, like, oh, I don't actually want to drink, but I would love to hang out and go like bowling. Bowling is such a shit example, but you know what I'm saying. If they say no, they're not your friends. They're not your friends, because they should be supporting your goals. And yes, I could say on the flip side, you could go out to this like thing and not actually drink, but who actually wants to hang around with people that are like drinking and being crazy when you're fully sober? Like, no one. And I actually know majority of my clients, anytime they go out and drink, the come down from that, because obviously alcohol is a depressant, the come down from that, they feel shit for like at least a week afterwards, and they're always like, that wasn't even worth it. I miss being on track. I miss how I feel when I feel my body. And this is what I was saying before with the motivational piece. I'm so motivated because I love how I feel when I feel good. I'm happier, I'm more confident, I feel so good, and my body's just functioning at full capacity. My brain is functioning, like everything is going so well because I'm not starving myself or consuming heaps of shit. But also I eat sweet treats and stuff too, and I still feel this way. So it's really being able to navigate that balance and include all of that balance. And if you can't find common ground with your friends, you need to be setting the boundary and saying, no, actually, like, I don't want to go. And if you're like, okay, but I don't know, because I want to stay friends with them, and like, I don't know, I'll have no friends. And I know I kind of said this before, but getting clear on your needs and what you're actually getting out of your friends, and not in terms of like using your friends for something, but if you go hang out with a friend and they're draining you, what is the point of that friendship? You're literally getting nothing out of it. There is no point being friends with them if you don't leave feeling lighter, leave feeling good about yourself, leave feeling like, oh, that was so fun. Like, I hung out with my friend the other day. We walked for 2 hours. We chatted shit like the whole time, just about random life things. It feels great because she has a regular job and I don't work a regular job, and sometimes business can be a lot, and she didn't ask me about it, I didn't talk about it, and it was so great to just not have business on my mind. Like, we touched on it, but we didn't really talk about it, because you don't get it unless you're in business. But that's what I love about her. I love that she doesn't get it, because then I don't have to talk too much on it, and it's just a space to detach. And we still managed to talk and walk for 2 hours without there being dead silences. I don't think there was silences at all. And then when I walked away, my partner was like, oh, how was your walk? And I was like, great. It was so great. It was so great to hang out. It was so great to chat. And I just felt lighter afterwards. And it's just like, sometimes you need that friend that fills your cup and like doesn't take up brain capacity and make you feel shit about everything. Like, what do you get out of your friendship if they're not even filling your cup and making you feel lighter? at the end of the day, I think I am very unapologetically selfish. I'm literally telling everyone that lately. I'm like, I'm unapologetically selfish because I know what I want. I know what I don't want. I know what aligns with me. And I know that I want to create big impact. I know I want to, change like things, get fitter, get stronger, like be as healthy as I can be, really take advantage of all that stuff. And I can't do that by hanging out with people that don't fill up my cup, that drag me down, all of the things, insert all the fucking things that your friends are doing. That is not going to push me to be a better human. So if it's a waste of time, I'm not doing it. I'm going to be selfish with my time. I'm going to put me first, and I'm only going to put other people, like, first of all, no one's ahead of me, but the only time I'm actually going to prioritize other people is like if they deserve it, basically. So if they're a shit cunt, they've got to go, basically. And I think that is something that you navigate more and more with your 20s. But I feel like, I don't know, this needed to be said because a lot of the questions did stem around like friendships and money and, hanging out with friends and relationships and all these things. And I have a couple more questions on here about like mental health and like living at home and things like that. And I fully get it. And I know that the narrative can be switched. Sometimes living at home can fucking suck. Sometimes it's good, and I see all sides of it and things like that. But I want you to just remember, take yourself where you're at, meet yourself where you're at, and do what you can to control the narrative. Don't let the 1%ers affect how you show up day to day, because I know how easy it is for one thing to derail your whole entire day. I'm going to leave it there. Let me know if you want me to do a part 2 and answer more of your questions, and if you want me to put out the anonymous link again so that you can ask more questions, because I know people love being anonymous and they hate putting their name to things, and that's why I did it. So that is all for today's episode. Plug into the broadcast if you want to get more live updates and get into it. And, that's where I sent the link and stuff like that. So if you're like, oh, I want to ask questions next time, get into my broadcast, because that is where I put it straight away. It's free on my Instagram, Girls in Their 20s. It's just in my bio. And I don't even think you have to follow me if you don't want to. You should be following me because obviously you're here for the juice and I give the juice, but you don't even need to follow me if you don't want to. Please like today's episode and do the little review thingy. Give me a little 5-star. Well, okay, no, give me a rating that you want to give. Honest reviews only, but share it with a friend that you think needs to hear it. It would be really helpful if it went around, because I really want to grow this and get more girls on the page to create more impact, because as I said, I want to do more for you girlies, and that starts with impact and people actually hearing and seeing. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this and it gave you some insight into me, my life, and my perspective on things. Go slay navigating your 20s, and I will talk to you all in the next one. That's a wrap on another episode of Navigating Your 20s. Thank you so much for joining me and taking the time to listen. If you enjoyed the conversation, vibes, and got something out of today, please feel free to send me a DM with any key takeaways and feedback, or share on your socials and tag me so we can connect. If you liked today's episode and you're wanting more from me, you can find me on all socials at success.withjess.